Good evening, everybody, and welcome once again aboard the Swords and Starships book club meeting. Yay! Hi, everybody.
Sorry, I'm on Facebook, so somebody asked questions.
Shall we do introductions? Oh yeah. All right. Should we do introductions again?
Go for it.
Ladies first.
I'm Brittany. I'm the programming librarian. I sit in the back because I project really well.
I'm Michaela. I'm a librarian assistant, and I sit in the front because I don't project very well.
Projected. I'm Joshua Whitty, and I'm also the library assistant. I sit in the middle because sometimes I do, sometimes I don't.
There we go.
And so we're going to start off this session today. We're going to start off by giving you a few announcements. There's a few changes going on with the library these days. So first of all, we're still closed to the public, but we are having a limited opening. So I don't know if you're aware already, but we're doing curbside pickup along with our mail service. So our curbside pickup are on Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday. We have a morning session, which is 11 to 1, and an evening session, which is 3 to 5. Okay? If you need to use a computer, we can take care of that. On Mondays and Wednesdays, from 11 to 12 and 3 to 4, we are open for computer use only.
But you have to make an appointment ahead of time.
Exactly right. You call the reference desk to make your appointment, and we'll pencil you in that slot. Some rules with using the computer. Given the situation, we're not allowed to do a little personal contact. So if you have questions, please come prepared. Basically, we can't come and help you with your computers. Yeah. So I hope you understand that.
We have to, if you know what the reference desk looks like, we have to remain behind the desk. Like if you have a computer problem, we unfortunately can't come over and help you because we have to be really close to you. We are allowing some people to have helpers, but again, those are slots that get filled up. So if you want to bring somebody to help you, if you're not very comfortable with a computer, you need to let us know ahead of time. You need to ask us ahead of time because it might already be filled up.
Yes.
So that's an option.
Yes. Also, we are also doing limited browsing, so you can actually come inside and see our lovely faces. We are doing limited browsing on Tuesdays and Thursdays, and these are in the evening sessions from 3 to 5. So you can actually walk in, browse, not the whole library, but a nice chunk of it.
It's like the new stuff,
and
the videos and the audiobooks.
And the mysteries.
And the mysteries.
And the YA stuff too.
Yeah, the
and I
YA
think
stuff.
Becca, our children's librarian, has set up some summer reading in the children's section that you can browse as well. So yeah, great stuff, and we have so many new books.
Oh my gosh, there's so many.
Yeah. So if you want first dibs on new stuff, come on. Okay. Also, exciting news. Is it through the Friends of the Library?
Yes.
Okay. We are doing a drive-through book drive.
Yes.
You see these boxes around us? Yeah. We are selling this. I don't know if we're selling or giving.
I don't know. We'll talk more on that later because I actually don't know the fine details of this. But
well,
on Friday, it's happening.
It's on Friday, 1 o'clock?
I think 3?
Ooh.
We'll find out. But something exciting is happening on Friday.
Mark your calendars, Friday. You
Details
can get
will be made public.
bags and boxes of books.
By genre.
There's CDs, there's DVDs. Wow.
Yeah.
And this is all stuff we don't have room for, so make room for it in your own home.
There you go.
Okay. Any more announcements you want to share before we get started?
I don't think so. I see that Christina's watching and she knows more about the book sale than we obviously do because we're so prepared. So if she wants to type in the details of the drive-through book sale, please do that, Christina. Thank you.
Thank you, Christina.
You can look down there and she has her sound on. Christina. If anything, we'll type it in later. It'll be good.
It'll be great. So come down on the days that we've mentioned. Come see us, check out stuff. Come by the book drive and pick out something good for you.
Yeah.
It's summer, time to read.
That's right.
Yeah. If you have questions, just give us a call.
Yeah.
You know.
Yeah.
Sometimes we don't say all the things that we realize we need to say, and if you just give us a call, somebody will answer your questions.
Yes.
I mean, yes. We have somebody 3 to 5 on Friday. Thank you, Christina.
Thank you, Christina.
You are awesome. Okay.
Oh wait, Christina, is it free?
I believe there's donation.
Or until we run out of bags or boxes. Okay, so it's first come, first serve.
Yes.
So if you are here early, there's a good chance that you will get what you want.
There you go. Okay.
Okay, so we're gonna get down to it, yeah?
We need theme music.
We need theme music. I was also thinking of costumes since I think that's a little extra, but
I have a Totoro onesie.
you do?
I sure do,
Oh,
and I would wear it for the good of the cause.
I mean,
gosh,
I could
yes.
wear my Kaylee costume. I mean,
You could.
Sci-fi.
Yeah, I mean, I was pretty excited. Like
Yeah.
every day should be Halloween.
Yeah, we can do
You know
it.
that?
I support that, even though I would be woefully unprepared for that because I don't have any costumes.
We have a witch hat in the back.
Awesome.
There you
Let's
go.
do that one.
So
You
that's
can be
good.
Professor McGonagall.
Oh my gosh.
'Cause
she's
it
my
looks like her
favorite.
hat.
She's my
Yeah.
favorite. Okay, great. Anyway, sidetrack. Our theme for June was LGBTQIA Pride because this June is Pride Month, and unfortunately, there's no parades, not much going on in this time of COVID. So we'll enjoy it through our reading lives.
There we go.
That sound good? So I know we put down a list of suggested readings, and I hope you took some time to read either those titles or some other titles that you have been excited to read yourself. So let's get started in sharing what we've read. Who'd like to go first?
I think we read the same one.
You read the same one?
No, we didn't.
Oh, we didn't. Okay.
No, I read this. So you read.
Yeah, I listened to Not Your Sidekick on
Me
Hoopla.
too.
Okay. Okay. That's when because I started listening to An Unkindness of Ghosts,
Uh-huh.
Which
and
is
it
what I
was
read.
it was a little slow for me.
Okay.
It was a little slow for me, so I bailed. I was like, no, bye. And I went and I read, I listened to Not Your Sidekick.
Right, which I read before. So
So we've all read it.
Yes, I read it before. It's just been a while, and I skimmed a little bit on my lunch to kind of refresh.
Yeah.
I meant to reread it, and I did not plan accordingly. So yeah, but I read it before, so I can.
It was cute.
It
It was
is.
cute.
Yeah.
Like a quick summary, Jess is in a world, it's like after World War III? 4?
I don't know if it was a world war. I think there was a cataclysm that happened.
Yeah.
There was a huge solar flare.
Yeah.
So the appearance of superheroes and the end of the world kind of coincided with each other.
Yeah. Yeah. It's like a futuristic America, like, and superheroes are real. And she is the daughter of 2 superheroes. She does not have powers, at least not that she knows of.
Right.
And she's really bummed about that.
Really?
She really wants to be a superhero. Like, it's all she's ever wanted. And her older sister is a superhero. And her older sister got the really cool power of flying, which is like what every superhero wants.
Right.
Yeah.
And the very beginning of the book is her like trying to like jump and fly, and she keeps like biffing it, and she's like so sad because apparently like when you turn 17, that you're really unlikely to show any powers.
Yeah.
Like once you hit 17, you're kind of done.
Right.
Yeah.
And it's like almost her birthday. She's almost 17, and she's like super bummed. So then she decides, okay, like this is my lot in life. I'm gonna go get a job, and she gets this internship that pays like a weird amount of money. She's like, okay. And it turns out it's the villains that her parents fight all the time. It's like that company.
Mischiefs, right?
Yes.
The Mischiefs,
Yes.
yeah. And at first she's like, oh, I don't know. And she's like, well, why not? I guess I will.
Yeah.
it's like her one act of rebellion because they're not doing. They don't kill people. Like they're not like they're mischievous, but they're not like evil. She's like, this is interesting.
I like that she had that T-shirt, this Mischief T-shirt that said "Mr. Mischief was right about the cheese."
Yes.
So Jess had that rebellious side in her already.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
So it kind of makes sense.
Yeah, and it's like I don't know how much to spoil now that we're here, but like
Yeah, people know it's fine. We
okay,
feel
like,
things.
people know
Yeah.
it's fine.
Spoiler alert.
Spoilers.
There's gonna be spoilers.
Yes.
There will be
There
spoilers.
will be spoilers.
Yeah, it's cute. It's cute though. I won't spoil all the things. I won't
Right.
spoil the end.
No.
But she's doing this internship and she's working with a girl named Abby, who goes to her high school. I think she's like a grade or 2 older, and Jess has a really big crush on Abby.
Huge
She's like, Abby is hot stuff, and now I get to work with her.
Uh-huh.
So that's really cute to see.
Yeah.
I The only thing I didn't like about the book was I felt like it was really obvious of what was going on.
Oh, for sure.
Yeah.
It really is.
Really obvious. And I thought it was gonna be like a red herring.
But it's
like
not.
it's not a red herring,
No.
like that's what's happening.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like, it was good.
Yeah,
but
no,
it's
it's-
nice and easy, and you're like, that's how it'll go.
Yeah.
There was a couple little side plots that I didn't pick up like right away,
Mm-hmm.
but
yeah.
the main
Yeah.
plot is pretty
Pretty, yeah,
pretty
you
on
can-
the nose.
you
You're
can
like,
pretty-
okay.
Yeah.
You can guess who is, the secret superhero. You can
Right.
figure that out pretty quickly,
Yeah.
I think. And
Yeah.
Yeah.
You
And
can
it's all pretty
figure out
obvious.
who's the bad guy in it.
Yes.
So.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yep. It's pretty obvious, but
Sometimes that's fine. So.
sometimes you need a little predictability.
Because it's an easy read. If it was like really dense in other ways, but then it was so obvious what was happening, it'd be frustrating. But it was
Right.
like it was a fast, fun read. So
And-
it's like it's okay.
And also, like, the author's writing style, I really enjoyed. I thought she did a good job creating her characters, building her world.
Mhm.
Yeah, and her plot is well paced. I mean, it was
Yeah.
fun throughout. I don't think there was a part where I was really like, ugh, this is.
Yeah, it was
bad.
quick.
But it was
Yeah.
quick, well paced.
Right. Yeah.
It was quick.
Everything
It was
fell
fast.
together.
Right.
And honestly, I like seeing diverse characters in my reads, and this
Yes.
had them, which was
Yeah.
really nice. We had a
Yes.
trans character in there,
Yes.
and it was really cool because they went about conversations of like, that character was accidentally, mispronouned,
Mm-hmm.
and they corrected that person. They're
Yes.
like, actually, they go by he.
Yeah.
It's he,
Yeah.
and she's like, oh, I wasn't sure because she referred to them as they.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And so that was cool to be like, they had that conversation of like, what do we do when I don't know somebody's pronouns?
Right.
So that was, it
Yeah.
was nice to see like these
Yeah.
modern day
Yeah.
things that more people should know about.
Right.
It was nice.
And it was handled. It wasn't like something that was. It was, this is the social norm of this time. This is what you should do to be respectful of
Right.
other people's feelings, and
Yeah.
I thought it was well handled, that situation.
Yeah.
I liked it. I liked
Yeah.
it. I liked how inclusive it was. And I was
Right.
like, I want more of that.
And I also liked there was that with the Rainbow Coalition, where Jess wasn't really keen on joining because I think it spoke well about the LGBTQ society, the community. I mean, not everyone has the same feelings, the same
Yeah.
pressures on society that society places on them.
Yeah.
And it was interesting that she brought that up too. Like,
Yeah.
the reason why she didn't want to join that coalition was because she felt that it didn't really speak to her as a bisexual
Yeah.
woman.
Yeah.
And I mean,
Just-
that's a
fine.
very valid
Yeah.
point.
Catherine has noted, she said, I felt the relationship LGBTQ part came across very authentic and sweet.
Yeah.
Yes.
Because she also listened to Not Your Sidekick on his blog as
Oh,
well.
thank you.
Yeah.
Catherine. I totally agree with that. I totally agree. The how the relationship between Jess and Abby developed
It was
so
sweet.
It was.
so
It was
well
nice.
done.
Nice.
Yes.
Yeah. This is
Because,
a
like,
sweet book.
Because like they had conversations about intimacy,
Mhm.
and like at one point Jess was really uncomfortable with like what was happening. Like it wasn't like graphic or anything,
Yeah.
but like Abby took a step back. She's like, "Hey, if you're uncomfortable, you just let me know. We don't have to do anything." They weren't even doing it. It was about they were writing something, and it was a graphic scene that they were starting to write together.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And Jess was like, and Abby's like, "That's okay. Like
Yeah.
we don't have to."
Yeah.
And it was nice. It's nice to see consent in books.
Yes.
I want, especially in YA books.
Yes,
Because I
for
feel like
sure.
there's this whole generation of YA books that doesn't talk about consent. It's like suddenly
Right.
they're kissing and then all of a sudden they might be sleeping together.
Yeah.
And like this like really slowed it down and talked about consent, which
Right.
is super
Important.
necessary.
Yeah.
Super necessary
Yes.
and very realistic too. Like, I mean, the being bisexual is something that Jess wasn't really. I mean, it's something she knew in herself, but it's not
Yeah.
something that she practiced.
Right.
She hadn't made the lifestyle decisions yet.
Yeah.
So it was very realistic how there were certain boundaries that she wasn't ready to cross yet.
Yeah.
You know.
Yeah. No, so that was
Very
nice.
excellent.
Yeah.
I think that is something that most people can really appreciate.
Yeah, everybody has their boundaries, and it's really important for books, movies, stories to talk about those boundaries and to talk about consent.
Yes.
And show how to approach those boundaries with a respectful and conscious way.
And normalize it to not make it weird. 'Cause I
Right.
feel like sometimes you'll hear
Yes.
people be like, "Well, that's not like sexy or whatever." It's like,
Right. know.
You should talk about boundaries.
Yeah.
That's normal.
It's true.
Like, you
No.
should do that.
Yeah, and I feel like more even like romance novels have gotten into that too, like where you actually see those scenes in like adult romances where it's not just like the dude throws her down. It's like, there's actual talk, and it's like, oh, that's nice.
Yeah.
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 So
Yeah.
but yeah, I agree. It's really important to YA too.
Yeah. I mean,
more so even than
yeah.
adult, but
It's
Yes.
important.
Yeah.
It's
Very
important. Because a lot of times it's how you learn how to conduct yourself.
yes,
Yep.
yeah,
Yep,
yeah.
definitely. Mhm.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah, we read to learn, and we learn what we from what we read.
yeah. That's what I read.
Yeah, yeah. I also read that, and I also read An In Kindness of Ghosts too. So.
Which is the opposite of sweet.
Oh
and
my
innocent
gosh.
And all of that.
Well, I stuck through it, and I really enjoyed it.
No, I did too.
I really enjoyed it. It was very hard.
Yes.
Because the themes and the situations that the characters went through was, I mean,
It was,
I kind of expected what was to happen. So just some background into it, a summary of it. Sorry.
no, I have a bad habit of saying everything when I summarize. So
Okay.
please
So
summarize.
it takes place on a very, very large colony ship called the HSS Matilda. Yeah.
It's kind of fun.
Yeah.
Sorry.
So apparently the people of the Matilda are kind of like drifting through space, and they've been through in space for a very, very, very long time.
Yes.
So long, in fact, that they don't remember anything but life on the HSS Matilda. And it's kind of created a hierarchical society. You know, there's the straight white people on top, and as the darker skin tone you get, the further down the ship you are.
Is that how it works?
Yeah.
Yes. Yeah.
Nice. Okay.
And on top of that, the people on the lowest deck also, I believe what she said is that they would have male and female.
I couldn't quite tell if it was physical or if it was
So-
just that they identified as like they didn't have as strict of boundaries between genders.
Yeah, I think
I
it was.
couldn't quite tell.
Yeah, I think.
I thought it was intersex.
Yeah,
I did-
that's what I was
I
thinking.
did too, but then there were other things where I wasn't 100% sure.
Yeah.
But either way, like
Yeah,
they had,
there are attributes of male and female.
yes, yeah.
Sexual.
Organs?
Like sexual. Why can't I think of that word? Okay, sexual organs, and their appearance would be either male or female, depending on that. So.
Yeah. Because I only read the first chunk, and I remember reading
Yeah.
through that, and I can't remember why that was. Were they experimented on?
I don't
I think, because further on the book, it seemed like that was how the people of who started the voyage were. I mean, they were intersex people,
Okay.
as
Should we explain what intersex is?
yes,
Okay, because
yes.
that might not be commonly known.
No.
Um,
So it's like where you will have male or female, the appearance of male or female sex organs. Okay, so you might have the appearance as a female, you might have a vagina, but you would also have maybe undeveloped ovaries. Okay, or you might have something like that.
or not ovaries, but in that case, gonads.
Yes,
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 yeah.
you have
Yeah.
gonads, right.
Yeah. Like,
Yeah.
yes. I think that's a good explanation.
Yeah.
Like
Yeah.
you might even look more like a girl, but another like
Yeah.
undescended gonads, or whatever. It's intersex. You literally
Right.
have both.
Right, right.
So-
Yeah, you might have a case where you have a double X and a Y chromosome, something like that.
Yeah.
Okay.
And if somebody else knows more than we do, like, because I do not proclaim to be an expert, please feel free to
Yeah.
say in the comments.
Please, if anything we say is out of bounds in this area, please
Yeah.
do.
Or if it's incorrect in some way, we would love to be corrected.
Yes.
So,
Yes. Yes. We are open space. Love to learn. Thank
Yes.
you.
Hashtag librarians, we learn.
So I think that was originally what the people of the HSS Matilda were. They would identify as intersex, and it was only as the voyage went on, and without a variety of genetic change, then they started separating into the male and female, and having lighter skin tones.
Okay.
So it was I got
still not sure, but
yeah.
but I'll look at
I'm also not sure. This is
Yeah.
what I pieced together from
Right.
the very, very sparse
Yeah.
details about
Okay.
that.
Because to me it seemed like sometimes it seemed like they were intersex, and other times it seemed like they were just like asked her. I don't know if she was intersex or if she just felt like she was male in some ways.
I think that she had the way they described it. She had more hair on her body and she had more bulky features.
True. That's true.
That's all they really said.
You're right.
So
right.
I mean, I'm not sure if we're supposed to take it.
Yeah. No, I think you're probably right. Yeah.
Yeah. So
It's not the most important.
it follows Aster,
Yes.
who is a member of Q deck, which is the lowest deck. Okay, and just basically her life in dealing with the upper deckers, who are not nice people
No.
in the least. You are not
No.
you are not meant to.
You're telling me about because I didn't read it. I'm like,
Okay,
okay.
no, they. So if you think about what life in the antebellum South would be like with the plantation owners, that's what the
Basically, yeah.
upper deckers would have been like. They
Yeah.
would have seen people like Aster, people like Aster's friend / sister. I think she's a sister.
Yeah.
Giselle.
Not by blood, but yeah.
Yeah.
She felt like she was her
Felt
sister.
like she felt a kinship to her.
Yes.
Yeah. They would see her as less human,
Mm-hmm.
an abomination, and they would call her that to her
Yes.
face. There would be whippings,
Assault.
sexual assaults. Yes.
Yes.
Which
Yes.
I mean, if trigger warning, if that's
Yes,
something
for
you're
sure.
not,
Big trigger
be
warning.
very careful
Yes.
with this book because
There
there's
is
a lot of hard stuff in there.
Yeah.
And it's basically about Aster learning about her past, what her mother was trying to accomplish in trying to figure out the history of the ship.
Right.
I'm leaving a lot out.
Yeah, she thought her mother had committed suicide, and then something happens where she realizes that maybe she didn't, and that her mother's journals were actually in code telling her something. And she works, so Aster also works as a doctor. A lot of the lower deckers actually are healers, but she trained with the surgeon, who is like the hands of God or something is what they call him.
That's what they call him, hands of God.
Who's Theo is his real name, but he's like the doctor to end all doctors, basically. He's like the Surgeon General is what they call him. So she trained with him, and he taught her more detailed medicine. So yeah, she's learning about her mother. She's doing her doctoring thing. Theo's uncle, the lieutenant who hates Aster for
Terrible man.
some
Well,
yeah.
he's. They say he's like a godly man because so he very much believes in a very stratified society. You're in your place because you are a bad person. You're a sinner. You're going to hell. That's why you're down in Q deck.
Yes.
We are up here, white skinned, living life very without any cares, any burdens, because we are good people. We are godly people.
Yeah.
Right?
It's so frustrating.
Oh my god. Oh my god.
Like, no, I don't want
Just
this.
gotta
I think
No,
part
it's
of why
not.
he singled her out was because of Theo's feelings towards her.
But
And
plus,
he seemed to have a weird thing.
Theo is the guy she works for, right?
Yes,
Yeah.
he's a surgeon, yeah.
And what deck is he on?
he would be, because he's biracial, so he would be on the more middle deck. He wouldn't be with the
Right,
on the
so
Q
It's not
deck.
Q deck.
Yeah, so
He's
even
like
though
M
he's
deck.
like this exalted figure in their society because of his healing powers and all that, he's still he's not fully white, so
he's not fully accepted.
Right.
Yeah,
He can-
because
I mean,
of
he
the
can do-
skill,
yeah, most things, but yeah, he's still not, and he, because of his, not being full white, he identifies more as female in a way,
Yes. Yeah.
so.
Yes. I believe he was gay. Yeah. In that.
Yeah.
So.
'Cause, yeah,
And of course, that was very much frowned on in that society.
What?
I know, it's hard to believe.
Yeah.
They're so considerate.
But yeah, their sexuality isn't so straightforward because he identifies like somewhat as a woman, but he's like he has feelings for Aster,
Yes,
who is
yeah.
a woman but identifies more male.
Yeah.
So it's just a really interesting
Yeah.
like this spectrum of sexuality and
Correct.
yeah.
Right. No, it's great.
Yeah.
Also, that the ship that they are on is in a state of decline. So
that's what they're told.
yeah,
Mm-hmm.
and I think it comes to be known that actually the systems are starting to shut down.
So what's happening is, so once again, spoilers, and I probably will spoil the end because I'm bad at pulling back. The ship, they've been told that baby son basically
Baby son.
is, their son, it's baby son. And they call it baby the whole time. At first I didn't quite catch that was the son, so I was like, baby deck, what? And then I realized it was the son. So that they've been told that it's been degrading, but then she finds out that it's not. Like, she asks the people who are taking care of it, and they're like, no, it's totally fine. But there's been these power outages, and they don't really know why. So the lower decks have been the general, the lieutenant, cut power to the lower decks. You cut off all the heat. So they're freezing to the point that people she had to amputate a kid's foot because she
That
got
was the
crushed.
starting scene.
Yeah.
She was amputating a kid's
Yes.
foot.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yay! Welcome to the book. So
you have an idea of what you're in.
yes. So he cut off the power because of these blackouts, and they've been trying to say it's because it's degrading, but the people working on it are like, no, everything's fine. And she finds out through her mother's journals that it's because they are actually there's a whole lot of story in between there.
Oh,
But you gotta summarize.
Yeah,
we
yeah.
don't need to go.
Yeah.
But basically, they're getting close to their destination. That is why, and it has to recalibrate because there's an obstruction, basically something in the way, and the ship, when it does that, it needs to move, and so it keeps trying to move itself. And when it does that, there's these magnets, I guess, that pull it, and that's a really, really scientific way to say it.
I'm here for it. I'll believe it.
Yeah. But they're
Use the magnets!
She gets a hole in her back because of the magnets.
Yes.
The power goes
No!
out and
Horrible,
yes,
horrible.
because
Yes.
yeah, it flies off something and they're back. So they're getting close to their destination, and that's why that's happening. It's not really shutting down. It's just it's trying to not run into things, and
Okay.
yeah. So
Okay.
yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Nice.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, I only read the first chunk, and I was telling you guys earlier, I just felt like it was kind of slow.
Mhm.
And I'm kind of glad I didn't keep going, because I don't think I want to read something that dark right now. I'm just not
that's
here
fair.
for it.
Yeah.
No,
Like, I
totally.
started
for
Yeah.
sure.
I kind of wish it was more of a thing where books at the beginning would have, trigger warnings. I know not everybody wants that, but it'd be nice if, you just had a page where it's hey, if you have triggers for sexual assault,
Mhm.
this, and this, you will encounter these on these pages.
Right.
Yeah.
It doesn't even tell you what exactly is happening.
Right. Yeah.
But just get an idea, because that is really triggering for some people,
I-
or some people just don't want to read about it right now.
Yeah.
Like,
That's exactly when I read that sexual assault scene near the end of the book. I'll let you know, trigger warning. It's near the end of the book. I
Other
believe.
mentions.
we'll do it
Oh,
for
there
you.
are. So,
Oh God, yes.
Trigger
There's
warning.
so many mentions of it.
okay. I think I just glossed over
to
that.
the
So
point
you were
where
just
she-
getting no.
I don't know how much I should talk about it because that she no. Okay. There's
It's in there.
multiple mentions of sexual assault and preparing yourself to do something, basically.
Yes, and
Yeah,
just
because
with
it's such
that
an everyday
knowing,
part of their life.
Rivers Solomon is a very excellent writer. She handles her
Thanks,
subject with, I wouldn't say with care, but she makes you see it with honesty.
They are they them.
She's very
Yeah.
blunt about it.
Very
This is-
blunt about
They
it.
are they them.
Oh, sorry.
No, it's okay.
Yeah.
I just
Sorry,
quietly. I was trying
Sorry,
to.
sorry.
I looked her. I just said it there. I looked them up
Looked
and
them up.
they go by.
Okay.
See.
And I didn't look anything up about the author at all, so I
Yeah,
didn't look
and I did, and I still like just did that.
It's
But
good practice.
It's
okay,
good
we're all
practice.
trying. So.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. I read that one book. Did anybody else read any other books?
Yeah, actually,
Tell us, Josh.
I read Dreadnought also.
Which I've read before.
Yes.
I read a chunk of it.
Yeah. Okay. Trying to say this. I did finish
just
it.
Go,
I was. This was like the last book that I read, so I had the other two to compare. I wasn't too impressed with the quality of the writing.
Okay.
I think, no offense to April Daniels, I think she's a very good writer. Just at the time, I didn't really click with me because of the things I'm interested in as a reader. You know, I'm a very much, I really like solid world building, and I like solid character, and it didn't really give it to me there.
Yeah.
But in terms of the dialogue between what is it like to transition? I mean, of course, this is a science fiction, so it's not an actual, real world. What happens when a trans man or a trans woman would transition?
Because in this book, it's a male to female transition, right? And that literally happens when they encounter like an energy source.
Yes.
Yeah.
A superhero dies, transfers what's called a mantle, which is an energy source. So the original Dreadnought is killed. Who is, in the beginning, Daniel, receives the mantle. He is already trans, or she is already trans, but she is still in her male body. When she receives that mantle, she becomes her ideal self, transitions into female.
Yeah.
And
Thank you. That was very well executed.
Thank
I was
you.
like, how do I describe this? Okay.
So basically, the book is about Danielle when she becomes Dreadnought, dealing with both life as a trans woman and as a superhero. Which is I mean there's a lot to go with there. I mean, there's a lot of struggle.
I love the idea.
Yeah,
I
love
love the
Oh my
idea, and
gosh,
I didn't finish for the same reason.
Yeah.
Like the writing just didn't capture me.
Right.
Sorry, April Daniels. I'm really sorry.
Yeah.
I'll try something else, but
Yeah, I mean, again, the idea is really well. I think it's an
Super
excellent
solid.
idea.
Yeah.
It's just that I don't want to keep going on this, but the sort of the touch points of what Danielle had to go through as a trans woman, I felt were, I don't know, it just didn't feel too authentic to me.
yeah.
With the angry father.
Yes. I remember that, yeah.
Yeah.
And I'm sure this. I mean, I don't want to, knock down anyone's struggle,
Yeah.
but it just felt inauthentic to me.
Yeah. That's fair. I only read a chunk of it, so I don't know. And I don't know anything about the author. Like, I'm about it.
Yeah. Well, April Daniels, she's also she transitioned into a woman, and her pronouns are she. I looked that up. I had to look. I'm sorry, River. I didn't look you up. I should have. But she grew up in Ashland. Ashland High School. Yeah.
Okay.
And then went to live for a while in Seattle. So actually, the place where it's set at, Newport City, is very much like Seattle.
Right.
Okay.
Yeah, she talks about the sound and stuff. Actually, I don't know what else to say about it. It's sort of like I mean, if you've read any of the Spider-Man comic books or seen the Spider-Man movies, it's kind of the same thing where they get a power and they learn how to deal with the awesome responsibility of it. There's a little bit of Avengers stuff thrown in there. And I mean, there's a lot of good ideas.
Yeah,
a lot of good ideas.
It's
It's part of a series, so if you want to go through the first one, I don't know if the second one and the third one are more the same, but I'm sure she's grown as a writer since then.
Yeah.
That's not nice. I'm sorry.
It's a book for somebody. It wasn't for us.
Yes.
Like it's a book
There you
for
go.
somebody.
There you go.
And I would almost recommend it for maybe a younger reader.
Oh my gosh, yes.
Yeah,
Yes.
yeah,
I think a younger reader would get a lot out of it,
Yes.
for sure.
Yeah. I
Yeah.
agree.
Yeah, I write my Instagram, like I do a bookstagram,
Uh-huh.
and there was one time an author like commented on it, and I was like, oh my god, they actually looked. And
Wow.
like before that, I wasn't super careful about what I And then now knowing like, hey, like there's people behind the authors. And it's not like I didn't know that, but it's like you don't think they're gonna look at you.
Mm-hmm.
Right.
Yeah.
And I literally and truly, it's even if the book is not for you, it is for somebody else.
Yes.
So even though we're saying,
Yes.
Dreadnought wasn't for us, kind of cliche,
Yes.
it is for somebody.
Yes.
It totally is. And the idea is really, really good.
Yes.
And if you like stories about characters overcoming odds, claiming their identity, well, this is a book for you. I think that is one thing it does very, very well. Empowerment, that kind of thing. Okay. So I do have a few questions.
I'm ready.
If we ask?
Yeah.
Okay, I've got a visual aid. So if you at home would like to participate, and if you are watching live, do comments and answer our questions, please. If you're not watching live, just add comments anyway. Tell us about the book you read. Let us know what you liked about it, what you didn't like.
We look back and we see what she said because
Yes.
we find it very interesting. We're librarians, we're very nosy.
Yes.
So we want to know.
We like to know and find out what you guys think. We live on feedback.
Yes,
Let's say. It's
yes.
like oxygen. Okay, so our first question is, I made a visual aid so
Oh my
you can
gosh.
see. Which character could you relate with most? There you go. So which character could you relate with most in the books that you read?
Oh, okay.
This is
So,
a hard one.
right.
Okay, so I haven't read Not Your Sidekick recently, so I can't really say anything. So I have to go with a hard book.
Ooh.
So I'm gonna pick just a really kind of random reason, not like a real deep I relate to this person. I'm gonna say her aunt there, Messelin, because there are a couple things she says about she doesn't really like kids, but she ends up always having to take care of them anyway and teach them and stuff. And just some of the things she said, I was like, yeah, I feel ya. There were a couple quotes that I actually have here.
Oh.
Stacy's saying hello. She
Hi,
says,
Stacy.
nice to see your faces. Hi, Stacy.
Hey, Stacy! We miss you!
Oh my gosh. Well, she listed those quotes. I don't know if I don't know if relate's the right word for it, but I really liked Abby from Not Your Sidekick.
Yeah.
I just really liked Abby
She
because
was such a good character.
I felt like she was really good at communicating. Like she had so many secrets, but with the important stuff, especially relationship building with Jess, I felt like she was so good at communicating. Okay, I'm sensing you don't need this, or you do want this. Can we talk about that?
Yeah.
And I feel like I'm an okay communicator, and so I guess I could relate in that way. Where it's sometimes I feel like I read the room and I'm like, something feels off. Can you tell me about that?
Yeah.
I've been told I'm really blunt. They're like, Brittany, you can't say that. I'm like, well, I need to know. I need to know why you feel that way. So I guess I relate with Abby in that way, where she was tactful.
Very.
She was very tactful, but she was also like, hey, we need to talk about this.
Yeah.
Even though she's full of secrets.
Yeah, well, I would, yeah, Abby was, for me, a very mature character. She, like you said, she knew what a person, she could read a person well. She was very empathetic in that.
Yeah, and I really liked her.
And really nice. I like nice characters. I like nice characters.
Characters. Catherine says, I can relate to Not Your Sidekick. Oh, sorry, I had to click on see more. Because I also feel like I don't fit into any one category of LGBTQ, and growing up in Europe, it was easier to be in that space.
Yeah, that's great. Thank you for that, Catherine.
Thank you for sharing.
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Growing up in Coos Bay is.
Oh my gosh. Tell me that.
I wouldn't say it's the most welcoming space, and I don't even super identify as being under the LGBTQ umbrella, really, but I had friends who did, and it was really hard being with them and knowing everything that they're going through, because a lot of times you hear about it after the fact, or even there's things in later years where I look back at situations that happened, I'm like, how awful, and it still makes me really sad. It's like, I can't believe people treated you that way. We all know those stories.
Yep.
And
Yep.
we understand.
Yes, totally understand, yeah. Right there with you. Growing up in Coos Bay, not an easy thing. Being part of the LGBT community, not also a nice thing in Coos Bay.
Yeah.
But you grow out of it. You learn to live your own truth, I think.
Yeah.
That's it.
Yeah, and you find your people. You
Yeah,
find your
for
safe
sure.
space.
For sure. Yes, you find your family.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah, Brene Brown, and I haven't listened to all of her stuff, but she refers to the family you're born to as your first family. And then like if you grow into you find your family, your second family.
Yeah.
And I really like the idea of like you have your first family, you don't get to pick them, but you do get to pick your second family.
Yes.
I'm like that's nice. I like that.
Yeah.
Totally. Did you find some quotes?
It's a little harsher on the kids than I am, but still, I enjoyed it. Okay, it's kind of long. I wish I could say I loved him because he might be better off if one person did it on him proper, but I don't. He made me tired and bored, and I'd rather be doing almost anything than playing with him. They say there's nothing like watching a child's face light up as they learn something new, but the folks who say that is lying. Children are fine enough, just not my favorite.
That's very child-free. Is what that really feels.
Yes.
I mean,
so I'm not quite as harsh as that, but yeah. So I don't fully identify with a lot of things about her, but there were just moments where, like, this is a hard book to be like, I relate totally to this person.
Yeah.
And it's just been so long since I read this, and I can't remember enough to pick someone. So
that's okay.
We'll just go with that.
But like, I would read that and I would laugh because I
did. Like that was like a fun moment. Like there are a few fun moments in there.
Yes.
Not very many, but a few. So.
Yeah. But I think that touches on like another important aspect of adulthood is like choosing to have children or not. And it's like a lot more people, especially our age, I feel like they're going child free. Like it's like we don't need to have children. We don't necessarily want to have children.
Right.
So it's kind of cool that you can have a character be like, yeah, everybody says you love children. I don't, you know? It's not even to say you don't love children. Sometimes you just don't want to own one.
Yes. Oh my gosh, you don't want that.
And that's okay. That's okay. You can be the cool aunts and uncles or, you know.
Yeah, that's the thing. Being an aunt and uncle, you can have so much fun with the kid. At the end of the day, they're not your problem.
Yep.
You give them
Go
back.
back to your mom and dad.
There you go.
Fill them with sugar, back to mom and dad.
I love my niece and nephews.
Yes,
And
me too.
I love to hang out with them. I go on hikes with them. And at the end of the day, they go back home.
Yeah.
And it's like, it's great.
Yes, it is.
It's
great.
awesome.
You get the best of them, and you don't see the worst. Honestly.
So,
Yeah.
yeah. Wait, who do you relate? Did you answer?
Who do I relate to? I really related to Jess. I found her to be a very interesting character in the sense that, you know, she's not a superhero in the traditional sense, you know. So she kind of feels like she needs to live up to these expectations, especially with her family, especially being an immigrant American.
Yeah.
There's those expectations as well of being an American, and then of course being in a family of superheroes and having to deal with that, and being passable students, you know. But what I really liked her is, despite those things that she felt were holding her back, she's like, you know what? I'm just gonna try and be myself. I'm gonna get a job, and I'm gonna, you know, I'm gonna try to carve out my own life. And I really felt that was something that. I really like that about that character.
Yeah.
Another one that I also liked was in An Unkindness of Ghosts, Giselle. Giselle is not an easy character to like, but when I read her comments, she's very acidic.
Yes.
She has a mean sense of humor.
Oh yeah.
If her tongue was a knife, she would cut you. And I kind of like that.
Yeah.
I like that bitter side because I found it was very vulnerable. You know, she would use her cutting sense of humor to, you know, as a weapon, but also as her defense. And you could, I think you could very easily see through that.
Yeah.
Because if you called her on any of that stuff, she would admit it right away.
Oh yeah. She had no guile.
Yeah, she had no guile, and that was another thing I appreciated. What you saw was what you get with Giselle.
Sometimes you love a character who's like very unapologetic. Like, this is how I am.
Yeah.
It reminds me of like Spike from Buffy the Vampire Slayer.
Yes.
I remember there's this one scene where they're like, gotta go kill the monster. He's like, yeah, we're gonna go in there. We're gonna probably die. He's like, wait, why would I go with you? And he leaves.
Yes.
Like, he just totally leaves. And I just love characters like that. They're like, no, I don't have to be good like you. Like, goodbye.
Exactly.
That's what she sounds like.
Oh, totally. I mean,
okay.
Spike and Giselle, I mean, I don't think they get along because they're both like very.
Okay.
But they have a similar personality, I think.
Okay.
So yeah.
I love Spike.
Yeah.
Okay.
Okay, next question. Would you like to visit the setting in the book? Would that be someplace you'd like to visit?
No.
You see it?
You're pointing to Unkindness of Ghosts. Okay.
Would you like to go to the HSS Matilda? Spend your life there?
No.
Why not?
I don't know. No, thank you.
Yeah, living your life in the cold or
I
dark,
mean, maybe
or
it was getting better at the end. But
oh my God, no, it doesn't.
well, kind of.
Well, I mean,
Maybe, but we don't know. Like, maybe.
yeah, well,
Yeah. No. I'm
I
gonna
don't know.
say no.
I
For sure.
I didn't get a feeling that it was a welcoming place. That once they got to their destination, it would be any better.
Well, I mean, there was an
Sorry to
uprising,
say.
so maybe.
Yeah,
Maybe.
yeah.
But even with that, I don't want to be part of that. No, for sure no.
Catherine said no, and I believe she read the
Psychic.
not your psychic. She said no.
No.
I don't know why yet, but that's okay. She said no.
Why, Catherine?
Catherine,
Why don't
why?
you want to go to Andover?
I feel like maybe a different. Well, I guess it was worldwide because there's like there's like a conspiracy happening worldwide,
Right.
where
Yeah.
like things were being pulled over most people's eyes, and I don't remember if that was worldwide, but if there was a country where maybe that wasn't happening, because I almost felt like. I mean, maybe it's bad to say, but it almost felt like modern day China, where you can only see some stuff.
Yeah.
Like a lot of things
Yeah.
are
Censored.
screened.
Yeah.
Yes, thank
Yes.
you. A lot of things
Yes.
are being censored. Like if there's a place on that planet that isn't being censored, like I think I would like it. Because it seemed pretty inclusive,
Yeah.
and there seemed like a lot of really cool tech.
And there's superpowers.
Yeah.
There's superpowers, which would be really
I like
interesting.
the superpowers. But I don't want to be just a bystander.
No.
If
No.
I'm gonna be there.
Right, right, and I'd be curious to see like if a different country isn't being censored, what that would look like.
Right.
Because like seeing Jess and Abby interact, like it's inclusive. It's definitely moved forward.
Right.
Maybe I just live in the wrong town, but I mean there's aspects about that world I really liked. I'm letting you know it's almost 6 o'clock, so we'll have to wrap up soon.
Okay.
But,
Okay.
Yeah, this was the last question. Okay. Yeah. Oh, yeah. I agree with you. Andover. There were things that I liked about it. Same reasons that you said. A lot that I didn't. You can't watch movies, at least old movies, because censorship.
Oh yeah.
Also, the class system. It's not really.
It's not as bad.
There's
as
no
this,
real.
but
Yeah.
it's
There's
still-
no real boundaries, but it's like. There was a comment near the end of the book where Jess saw a cat. Captain Orion had a cat, and
that's
she was like, "Wow, that woman is rich because she has a cat,
Wow.
and she can't because only rich people can
to
afford
feed it and take care of it.
the food and the care needed.
True.
yeah.
Everyone else has to eat week-old vegetable product, and meat product in
Yeah.
quotations because it's not real meat.
We have a couple comments,
Oh,
which are
cool.
actually very interesting.
Okay.
Catherine said the world seems very empty, which
Yeah.
I would say that's kind of fair.
Yeah.
But my introvert personality would love that. I'd be like, yeah.
Yeah.
But I totally get being empty. That would be hard. And then Meg says, she said, I just looked for, I'm not sure which book, but she said, I looked for on Overdrive and there's a whole wait. But it also brought up Dreadnought, which I read and loved.
Okay.
Well, good.
So
Great.
Meg loves Dreadnought.
Great.
There you go.
Yeah.
Good.
Meg, if you live in Coos Bay or North Bend, you might be able to find it on Hoopla, depending what book you're talking about. Hoopla is really nice if you don't know what we're talking about.
Yeah.
But that's what I've listened to most of these books on is Hoopla. So
Me too. Yeah. Yeah.
yeah, it's a library app. It's really nice,
Yes.
and you have to live in Coos Bay or North Bend currently to have access to that.
Right.
So
Right. And you had to put not your sidekick on hold in Overdrive. You wouldn't have that problem with Hoopla.
Right. No,
not your sidekick, she said. Yeah, it's on Hoopla,
Yeah,
and you
it's
don't
on
have to wait.
Hoopla. Audiobook and ebook.
Yes.
So
Nice.
it's a nice assortment there.
Yeah.
All right. That's the end.
This is fun, and we got some people who were talking to us this time. I loved
I
it.
so like it. Thank you. Thank you for adding to our conversation. If you were not able to watch us live, please do comment and answer some of our questions. Let us know what books you read, who you liked, who you didn't like, and are we ready for our next
Yeah.
our next one? Okay,
Yeah.
so July. What do we do in July? That we can't do now? Travel.
Yeah.
I was thinking, and here is a fantasy book that's about a trip to the magical disc world. Okay?
I'm so excited.
Really?
Have you read it
Okay,
before?
in college, one of my friends, he told me, he's like,
Okay.
you have to read Terry Pratchett, and I've
Yes.
let him down all these years, and now I'm required to read it.
Oh,
And
yes.
now I can tell him. I'm like, I read it!
Required reading is Terry Pratchett's The Color of Magic. Okay, so you are going to join the first tourist to Discworld. Okay? And Terry Pratchett, he's a satirist, so he's very funny. He's British too. Okay?
Yes.
So he has a very dry, fun sense of humor. I think you'll like it. It's short, not too long. So if you have other stuff you want to read, you can do that too. Also, this is available on Hoopla as an ebook. Bonus, there is a BBC miniseries that we can watch on Hoopla, and I am highly, highly suggesting that we do. Okay, I'm going to read it. Again, a nice thing of Hoopla is you can get TV shows. So read the book, watch the movie, come and join us next time.
And Meg said that she just got it, and she actually lives in Maryland, but she has access to Hoopla there.
Oh, nice.
Cool,
Yay.
cool.
Nice.
Hey, hi from Oregon.
Yeah. Hi.
I hope everything's great in Maryland, and I hope you join us next time.
Yeah.
Awesome. Alrighty.
Thanks, everybody.
All right.
Until
Join
then,
us.
be happy, healthy, and wise.
Yes.
Yes.
All right.
I'm
Go
reaching for it.
Kayla. You got this.
Oh, maybe I have it. There we go.